Good morning. It's good to be with you this morning. When we think about networking, for some people it is a pleasure. It's easy for them to network. For others, not so much. It's difficult. It's painful even. And some people look at me and they go, "Oh, Mike, you're such an extrovert. You should have a great time, easy time networking with people." But there are situations where I just want to stand up against the wall, be a wallflower, and just observe. I don't want to start a conversation. And that may sound funny for an extrovert, but it's true. And I would imagine for many of us in this room, networking, talking, starting a conversation with another person really takes us out of our comfort zone. Okay? Well, what we're going to talk about this morning will hopefully make networking work and hopefully be a little less stressful. So, we're going to talk about a few items. This is just an overview of what we're going to briefly cover over the next few minutes. Some preliminary thoughts about it. A review of some basics. For some of you, you're going to say, "Oh my gosh, I know that already." That's okay. It's just a good reminder. And then we're going to talk about some hints for conversation. How do you start a conversation? How do you end a conversation? And maybe some interesting and fun ways to look at conversations. And then alternative ideas. Now, I did not say alternative facts. I said alternative ideas. So, what is networking? I have a definition that I've come up with. I don't know that it's certainly not perfect, but here we go. So networking is simply making an effort to expand your interlinking web of personal and professional contacts in both formal and informal settings. Okay? It's simply making an effort to expand your interlinking web of personal and professional contacts in formal and informal settings. I don't know, it doesn't sound quite as scary when you say that. Well, here's my dad, dressed up, got his tuxedo on back in 1957. And my dad was a good networker. When I was a young boy, he said something to me that probably many of you have heard as well. He said this: "It's not what you know that counts, it's who you know." How many of you have heard that phrase? A parent told it to you, a grandparent? Yeah, a lot of you, right? Do you know what that did to me when I was young? I got angry. I said, "What are you talking about? I want to be judged for my ideas and what I do, not by who I know." After I became a Christian, however, I began to think about that. And it's not the facts about Scripture or how many Scripture verses we memorize. It's not what we know about Christianity that counts. It's who we know. It's Jesus Christ. That's where our salvation is, not in facts, it's in a person. So that little phrase applies, spiritually speaking. But just to show you how it applies in the everyday work world, here is a little chart. So some of you are going to say, "Keith, I can't read that." So this was from a survey that was done by Lou Adler and LinkedIn. And they surveyed 3,000 people in staff or management roles as to how they found their most recent job. Okay? So on the left, you've got underemployed or unemployed. The next one over, you have actively employed. And the next over is called tiptoer. Now that's somebody who's just kind of casually looking for a job. The one on the right is totally passive. They weren't looking for a job, but somebody came to them and said, "Hey, you know what? This company over here is looking for so-and-so. You might be good for that." Oh, look at that. And that's how they found their next job. The red bar, or maybe it's pink, I don't know how it appears to you, that's networking. the majority of ways, no matter which category, the primary way, the highest way that was found for them to obtain their most recent job was through networking. It's not always what you know, it's who you know. And the interesting thing is that if you're on LinkedIn, how many of you are on LinkedIn? You have a professional profile? All of you should. This is good. Your first contacts, right? You say, if you're looking for employment, I'm going to hit my first contacts. And that's fine. That's good to do. But do you know that research has shown that it's actually your second and third contacts that will actually provide the opening for you? So you may tell your first contact, hey, I'm out there looking. Well, they may tell somebody else who is actually a second or third, they're removed from you, but they're the ones that have an opening, and they're the ones that actually provide you. So it's interesting. But again, it's that interlocking web of contacts. So let's look at some basics. Name tag. So when you came in, you were all given a name tag, right? Now, if you're a right-hander, it's very easy for you. Oftentimes, you write out your name tag. These were pre-printed for you. But it's easy as a right-hander to just put it on your left side, right? Put it up in your left lapel. It actually goes on your upper right lapel. So all of those that have it on your left, you can feel free to shift. We'll give you those few moments, no judgment. This is a no judgment zone. Now the reason for that, would you mind standing up? Yeah, Ann. Yeah. This is Ann. Ann is the informal, unasked for prior helper here. So when you go to shake a person's hand, it's a natural for you, for line of sight, to go to that right lapel area, to their face, back to their name tag. Now Ann has it more towards center. She doesn't really have much of a lapel. That's okay. But you want to think about that because, thank you, even though can you all hear me if I'm like this? I'll come back here. Even though your name tag has your name on it, it's not about you. It's a help for other people. It is a help for other people, okay? Voice. You want to think about the volume of your voice. Now, in a little while, this room's going to become very, lots of chatting going on. And you've all been in situations where the sound level is high, right? I've even gone into restaurants and I'll go to the restaurant manager and go, could you turn the volume on the music down? I can't hear the person I'm talking to in the booth here. And they say, well, you know what corporate policy is? It has to be at a certain level. If more people come in, the volume actually goes up. I go, you're kidding me? Nope, that's their policy. But so you need to be aware of this in settings. If you're in a small group and it's relatively quiet, you can speak in a normal voice. But I've been in situations in networking events where people don't pay attention to the volume of their voice and they speak at a normal level and I'm watching the group and they're all kind of leaning in. This is not the book, but they're all leaning in trying to hear this one person. So if you're the one speaking, consider your background and speak up so that others can hear you. Shaking hands. So you don't want to do the limp fish handshake, right? The limp fish is just kind of this, you put it out there, it's kind of droopy, it's very weak. What kind of an impression does that leave with people if you do that? Anybody? Well, there's a lack of confidence. Does this person really want to meet me? All sorts of things go through people's heads, right? And then you have the bone crusher. Now, I have personally experienced this. So a few years ago, I went to see an intern, did a site visit, and I go in there, and this intern is really excited that I'm there. So he comes over, he goes, Mr. True, and he comes out, boom, and he grabs my hand, and he's shaking like this. He was like this is a terrible generalization, but like a cowboy from Texas. And he grabs my hand and just squeezed it, and he broke a bone in my right hand. So you don't want to do the bone crusher. Not fun, okay? So how should you do a good handshake? Good, firm handshake. The web between your thumb and forefinger goes into the web and between your thumb and forefinger of the individual you're meeting. Good, firm handshake, not too limp and not too strong, okay? That bone crusher thing is, overzealousness. Do you really trust this person? They may go off on you or something. Now, for networking events, you will oftentimes be at a place where, let's say it's a Chamber of Commerce, business after hours, and you will have these tall, round tables, okay? And they're nice because you can set your plate and your glass on the table, and if somebody comes along, you want to shake hands, you can do it, no problem. But I've been at events where either they provided too few tables for the number of people that are there, or there are no tables. So now the question becomes, what if I want to be able to, I've got this and I have no tables, but I want to shake hands and I want to pass out my business cards or just pass out. What you want to do is, first of all, you don't fill your plate full, okay? I think maybe we've all seen a few people who, when you get there, they go through the line and it's like, my gosh, is this their last supper? It's stuffed, it's like a Mount Everest of food. Just remember, you can go back. You can go back multiple times to the table. So you have your glass, you have your plate. What you can do is you can put your thumb on the bottom, not that you're going to hold it like this so you'll have problems, right? But you can do that. You can reach in your pocket, you can pull out a business card, and I can say, Ann, it's so nice to meet you. And she'd say, of course, and she'd follow my lead and say, oh, it's very nice to meet you. Okay? So be aware of that. Don't fill your plate too full and leave room for the glass. All right. Conversation. Now, if you go to an event with a friend, it's nice, isn't it? Because you already know somebody, okay? So you have a partner there. But you're probably going to split up at some point and start talking with other people. So you may want to work out a plan with your friend just in case you need help. So let's look at how Jerry and Elaine did this in an informal networking session.
Yeah, this has got disaster written all over it.
How did I ever let you talk me into this? I was in my mind.
Now listen, let's keep an eye on each other tonight. In case one of us gets in a bad conversation, we should have a signal that you're in trouble so the other one can get us out of it.
How old are you?
36. What's the signal? How about this? Chicken wing. No, I got a better one. Head patting.
Whatever you want.
You came all the way out from Manhattan for this?
Yeah, I did.
So, what do you do? Alright, let me ask you something. Where do you get your material?
I hear a voice. A man's voice, but he speaks in German, so I have to get it translated.
How come you keep tapping your head?
It's a nervous tick. I'm on L-Dopa.
On the other hand, you take it. The man devoted his whole life to the peanut. Imagine having so much passion for something.
You know, people tell me I'm a funny guy.
I've often wondered if he ever worked with the con.
Yeah, me too.
Now, is that considered enough? Because I know the cashew is a legume.
this?
I don't know. Maybe a safe fell on her head.
Well, she obviously liked you all along.
No, I would have picked up on it. I can always tell when a woman likes me. They always somehow let you know. With me, they could torture me. I wouldn't tell them. If anything, I try to make them think I don't like them. Then they think, oh, look at this guy. He's not even looking at me. He must have something going for him.
Anyway, I'm ready to go.
Now?
Well, not now, when?
Give me a half hour.
Okay, half hour.
Peanut brittle, peanut butter, peanut oil.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Oh, excuse me. What have you been doing? I've been smacking myself senseless. People think I'm a mental patient.
Hey, I was dying over there.
This guy's going off on a peanut. Not paying attention.
Oh, what a show. So, if you go to an event with a friend, you may want to have some system that says, help me, I'm in trouble, all right? So, there are times when I go to networking events, and I wish I had a set of these headphones on, because I'd love to call up to the booth and say, I'm stuck here at this networking event and I don't know how to start a conversation with this person. Can you help me? Send a play down. But we don't have those, right? So let's look at some ways that we can start conversations. Some very simple things. 10-second intro speech. Hi, I'm Mike True. I'm with the Career and Professional Development Center at Messiah College. And you are? Very simple thing. You've identified yourself and where you work. And now you're asking that person, right? Simple. Which food have you enjoyed the most? In just a couple of weeks, going to the West Shore Chamber of Commerce, Abby and I are actually going, and we're going to set up a plan in case we get difficult conversations. But it's the Taste of the Chamber event, right? So it'll be great food, but this would be a wonderful way to open up, have you tried such and such? To start a conversation with another individual. How do you know the host? Okay. You want to try to stay away from questions that are just yes or no, like, do you know the host? No. Well, you want something that is a little more depth to it. Who do you know, or what do you know about the organization? And if it's, let's say it's a chamber, how are you involved with the chamber? Or how are you associated with the organization? How did you get invited to this event? Okay. And then FORD. Think of the acronym FORD. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So you can ask them what they do, or if they make a statement, something like, yeah, my brother works here, he does such and such. Oh, really? You might say something about, oh, my sister does something similar in another organization or whatever. But you can talk about family in that way. That's an area maybe you want to be a little cautious with, but you can certainly start off with occupation, recreation. Are you planning anything for this summer? Are you able to take some vacation time? Our family normally goes to Cape May, New Jersey, in June, and enjoy our time there. Or what are their dreams? Are you hoping to stay with this organization for the next couple of years? Or do you have any dreams of doing something maybe on the side? Are you starting a side business? Something like that. Okay? Other ideas. Anybody have other ideas on how to start conversations? Maybe a favorite phrase that you use? Where are you originally from? Yeah, there are a lot of people who are transplanted, right? Into this area. Excellent. Excellent. If you're at a networking event, be kind to other people because you'd want them to do that with you, right? So if somebody's tie is off kilter, you may want to say something to them, or if they have something, they got a little food in their mouth or something in their teeth. God made my teeth to catch food. So, it's like if somebody says to me, hey, you have a little something in your tooth, or they're just pointing like this. I'm glad they're saying something because then I can go get it out so I don't embarrass myself in front of other people, right? So take advantage of that. Some good questions. All right, next, how do you end conversations? Because I'm sure that you've been in some conversations where you just want to say, oh God, please help me. I don't know that I can take much more of this. So please excuse me, I need to speak with someone. So actually in the fall, I went to a very nice event in Harrisburg. It was a reception and dinner for an organization. Lots of people there. And I was standing around one of those high round tables, and we're eating our cheese and so on, and there are 4 of us. And this one individual was there. I'll call him Peter. Sorry for anybody that's named Peter in the room, but I'll call him Peter. Peter says he's very knowledgeable about businesses in central Pennsylvania. There's no argument there. He's got a wealth of knowledge. The issue is he almost beats people over the head with that knowledge. And there was another individual standing here, so I was observing this conversation, and we'll call the other one Bob. So Bob says something like, there's an interesting thing. I noticed that this company is moving its headquarters. What does Peter do? Peter says, well, we were involved in that, but they're not really moving here. They're actually, and it just won't. So Bob would bring up something else. Peter would smile, with a smile, he would contradict him. And he would and then go on for minutes about the knowledge that he has of situations. He was lacking in social skills, in how to interact with people. And you know what Bob did? He said, would you excuse me? I think I see somebody over there that I need to speak with. Boom. He takes off. Now, I didn't follow him with my eyes because all of a sudden I got engaged with Peter in conversation, but I will bet you any money there wasn't anybody that he was really going to speak with. He was doing this to escape the conversation. So you're talking with someone, you see somebody else that you know, you might say, hey, Scott, come on over. I'd like to introduce you to Karen. Scott, this is Karen. She works at such and such a place. And then Scott will say, oh, it's very nice to meet you. I say, well, it's very nice. You go ahead, carry on. I'm going to scoot over here. Nice, tactful way. You're helping other people network, right? Okay. Do you happen to know where the restrooms are located? Yeah. And then go. Then take off. As soon as they say, I think they're around the corner. Oh, thank you. Whoop, you're off. Work out a signal with a friend like Jerry and Elaine did. I don't know about the patting on the top of the head. If I see any of you later on doing this, I'll come over. I'll try to help you out. Okay? Other ideas for ending conversations. Anybody have other ways that they've tactfully... Now, remember, you can't do this during the networking time after this because everybody will know, oh, he's just trying to get out of the conversation. Yes?
There's a Bluetooth button you can put in your pocket that makes a phone call.
Ah, okay. So what you do is you pull out your phone and you say, oh, geez, I'm really sorry, but I need to take this call. There are times when that's socially acceptable and maybe not other times, but that's a possibility. If it's really bad, you want to get out. Yes?
I normally just understanding that everyone's at the networking event too and needs to end the conversation with me, I normally just say, oh wow, it's so nice to meet you. I'm gonna keep going. It's kind of like, hey, it was great to meet you. And then if someone keeps going after that, you're kind of like, all right, this is gonna be a hard one. But
yeah.
End it and move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Yes, Joanne.
Along those same lines, sometimes I just go, it's been so nice talking to you, but I should let you keep circulating.
Yes.
I'll see you around.
So it's been so nice. I don't know if you could all hear her, but it's been so nice to meet you, but I don't want to hold you from networking with other people. So I'll just scoot over here, whatever. Yeah. Yes. Liz.
Refilling your drink or getting more food?
Absolutely. You can just say, do you know what? I really enjoyed this particular item on the buffet over here. I'm going to just run back and get some more, or I think I need some more to drink. And then you... Nothing too stiff, okay? Yes?
I was just going to say, for me,
I was in a lot of conversations that never seemed to end until I realized it was because I always felt like I needed to respond to everything that was said, rather than just, it always felt abrupt to just end after they finished speaking.
Yeah, because I would...
Once I got past that, it's much easier to end a conversation.
That's a great point. And I would say probably the majority of us in this room want to be kind to other people, right? So we don't want to just end the conversation and this idea of feeling the need to respond all the time when somebody is saying something. That can just keep that conversation rolling. So yeah, that's a tough one. All right, so alternative ideas, not alternative facts, alternative ideas. So there was this guy named Derek Coburn in Harvard Business Review last September, came out with this article on don't waste your time on networking events. Okay? Well, what he's referring to is networking events where other people are setting them up. So here are 3 ways that he says you can handle networking. 1, host your own event. Okay? You have complete control who's invited, the setting that it's held in, what activities you're going to do, etc. So host your own event. And it doesn't, again, networking, what do they say at the beginning? The definition, it's formal and informal situation. So it could be a simple cookout. If you're going to do hamburgers and hot dogs or whatever, you can invite someone to come, or folks to come over, but it's on your terms, your territory. Okay? Second, double date. If you have 4 tickets to some event, invite a client or a connection, and then say to that person, like I could say, Scott, so I've got 4 tickets. I'd like you to come to this event. Why don't you invite someone that I don't know but you think would be good for me to meet, and I'll invite someone that I think would be good for you to meet. Okay? Make a couple good connections that way. Reconnect with dormant ties. This could maybe be from former, coworkers, LinkedIn folks, team members from a past sports team, whatever. But reconnect with dormant ties. Now, networking, working, has this connotation of getting. I am here to get something. I am here to tell people who I am, what I do, to promote my product, promote my service. I want to meet the CEO or the CFO. I want to meet someone because I want a job with this organization, so I want to get in there. It's about getting. Net worthing is about giving. It's about giving to others, okay? Now, I don't know, how many of you have ever seen Mystery Science Theater 3000? Just a few of you. If you ever get a chance, it's on TV, they have them on DVDs and so on, it's a blast. What they do is they show B-rated movies from the past, they're mostly black and white, and then they have this one human being with 2 robots silhouetted like they're in the front row of a movie theater. And they make these hilarious comments about this B-rated movie throughout the whole thing. Well, I love to make captions for pictures. So for me, this is a networking event on the battle cruiser. And Darth Vader is saying, "What? You don't like my ranch dip?" But no. Darth Vader, when he makes his entrance, when he walks into a room, it's all about him, isn't it? It's all about him and what he wants. Unlike Darth Vader, it's not about you, it's about other people. So here are some ways that you can help other people. So when you're talking with them, compliment them. Hey, kudos on a job well done. That's great. What are your current challenges? What are your current challenges? I was talking with Rachel, I don't know where she is. There she is. I was talking with Rachel ahead of time, and she's just made a move into a facility that has its upsides and its downsides. And that's a challenge for her right now, as well as some other things. So find out, what are your challenges? What are that person's challenges? Try to understand where they're coming from, okay? How may I help you? Is there anything that I can do to assist you? Again, giving to other people. Who do you need to speak with to move forward? Right? So maybe somebody says, yeah, I have this idea that I'd really like to promote. And then you can say, well, what do you think would be your next step? Who would you like to, if you could right now speak with anyone, who would it be? And who knows, they may say somebody that, well, I don't know that person directly, but I know somebody who does. You know, it's that first, second, third contact thing. So you want to think about that. How may I best pray for you? People need prayer. Why not offer that? Okay? Now, this verse is often used in regard to giving of money, but I think it is also in regard to meeting and speaking with other people. Give, and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. Give to other people, and I think Scripture will show you that you will receive good in return. Right? So, thank you so much. And if I see anybody in the coming minutes patting the top of their head, I'll be over to chat with you. Thank you.